Liverpool submit €145 million offer for Alexander Isach. Liverpool have reportedly submitted a fresh bid worth €145 million for one-away Newcastle United striker Alexander Isach. The Sweden superstar is desperate to join Arne Slot's side before the summer transfer window ends on the 1st of September, and Liverpool have lodged a second offer for his services, having seen their opening bid of €127.5 million, £110 million, rejected. That is according to ex-account Indy Kayla, who posted on social media. The situation with Alexander Isach at Newcastle United is reaching a boiling point. Tensions are so high that some officials and players are completely ignoring him around the training ground. It's clear there's a rift. Sources suggest that Captain Jamal Lascelles has even advised the club owners to consider Isak's wishes, indicating that this isn't just a minor issue, could affect harmony going forward. Adding to the saga, Isak has been told to avoid being seen alone in Newcastle city centre, while Liverpool's interest is ongoing. We understand Liverpool are offering £120 million up front, with potential add-ons pushing the total bid to a staggering £125 million, €145 million. Newcastle United haven't rejected this latest proposal, but will only accept once new replacements arrive. Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea, Yoane Wissa, Brentford, and Samu Agahawa, Porto, have all been linked with a move to Newcastle in recent weeks, with the club moving on to alternative targets after losing the battle to sign both Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko. Isak handed in a transfer request in late July, while he reportedly has left his home in Newcastle after being excluded from a family day last week. What has Eddie Howe said about Alexander Isak? Newcastle boss Eddie Howe has been asked about Isak's future on a number of occasions throughout pre-season, but he has remained tight-lipped regarding questions over the Sweden star's long-term future at St. James's Park. After Newcastle's 2-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid on Sunday, Howe told reporters, "I think everything is in play. I've said many times he is contracted to us. He is our player. The club make the decision on his future. I don't know what that will be. Of course I have a preferred outcome. I want the best and the strongest squad possible, but I also want players that really want to play for this football club." Isak, who scored 27 goals in 42 games last season, has 3 years remaining on his current contract at Newcastle, while his estimated transfer value, ETV, stands at €117.1 million. Liverpool stepping up bid to sign Palaces Guhi. Liverpool are stepping up their attempts to sign Crystal Palace and England centre-back Mark Guhi. Palace captain Guhi has a year left on his contract, but Chairman Steve Parish said earlier this week he could be sold this summer to avoid him moving on a free transfer in 12 months' time. Sources have told BBC Sport that Liverpool have held initial talks with a view to signing the 25-year-old before the summer transfer window shuts. Liverpool are also trying to sign Parma centre-back Giovanni Leni. The 18-year-old Italian is not seen as a potential rival for Guhi, but more as one for the future. Guhi was the subject of bids worth up to £65 million from Newcastle last year. The FA Cup winners are believed to want £40 million for him now, but Liverpool want to pay less than that. The Reds have already spent about £270 million this summer, though they have recouped about £170 million through player sales. They have also had a £110 million bid for Alexander Isak rejected by Newcastle. Those sources have told BBC Sport the Swede remains determined to move to Anfield. Signing Guhi and Isak would take Liverpool's summer spending above £400 million. Alexander Isak phone call to Eddie Howe speaks volumes amid Newcastle United and Liverpool saga. Newcastle United's world was rocked when it emerged that Alexander Isaac wants to leave the club. On the 24th of July 2025, news broke that Alexander Isaac wanted to leave Newcastle United. He was not going on the club's pre-season trip to Asia, and he has not trained with the rest of the Newcastle United squad since. Isak wants to join Liverpool, but it remains to be seen if the Reds will meet his £150 million asking price. Whether they do or not, Newcastle United's stance is clear. Isak is not for sale, with the 25-year-old on course to stay at St. James's Park. Meanwhile, that is not what the Sweden international wants, having informed the club of his desire to leave long before the 24th of July. Alexander Isaac told Eddie Howe he wants to leave Newcastle United last season, Incredibly, Isak had actually told Eddie Howe about his decision to call time on his Newcastle United career when the 2024-25 season was still going on. That is according to The Athletic and David Ornstein, who have dropped a fresh bombshell with regards to the Isak situation. According to The Athletic, Isak actually told Howe that he wants to leave 2 weeks before the end of last season. They add that he then reinforced his stance to the Newcastle United manager after the loss to Everton on the final day of the season. That was the day that the Magpies secured Champions League qualification. Even when Newcastle were still pushing to qualify for the Champions League, Isak had made it clear that he wants to leave. That is extremely disappointing. What Alexander Isach is now saying about his Newcastle United future, fast forward to the present day, and the situation has only gotten worse. Isak is training on his own, while he is not going to be involved in the Magpies Premier League opener against Aston Villa. In fact, he may never represent the club again. The Athletic state, Isak never wants to play for Newcastle United again and has no plans to reintegrate into the squad. It is another huge twist in this roller coaster of a story. That puts the pressure back on Newcastle, as even if they keep him at St. James's Park for another year, they might not be able to play him. It is an absolute mess of a situation, and one that has completely tarnished Isak's legacy at St. James's Park. For many, he would have been considered a Newcastle United legend for what he did in the 2025 Carabao Cup final. 5 months later, it is quite spectacular how things have unraveled. Liverpool and Crystal Palace to resume negotiations over £45 million. Marc Guhi transfer. Crystal Palace beat Liverpool 3-2 on penalties after a 2-2 draw took the 2025 Community Shield final to a shootout on Sunday, but talks between the two clubs for the transfer of captain Marc Guhi are set to resume. Hugo Ekitike and Jeremy Frimpong marked their first competitive fixture with the Reds, with a goal apiece, but will have to wait for the Premier League season opener against Bournemouth for a chance at a first win. Liverpool's need for depth in attack and defense was again highlighted on Sunday, with Arne Slot's bench not as strong as it was last season, given recent transfers and the tragic death of Diogo Jota. The Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez transfers mean that Ekitike is the club's only strikers, with Cody Gakpo emphatic in the last year that he is not a number 9 and prefers playing on the wing. Liverpool remain interested in Alexander Isach and now appear to be readying another attempt to sign Marc Guhi. Last month, they were in pole position to sign Guhi before they pivoted to Isak, but they are ready to return to the table now. Liverpool launches a bid to sign Marc Guhi to replace Jarell Quansah. Since Quansah made his £35 million switch to Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool have had a problem at centre-back, but they are now moving to solve the issue with a move to sign Marc Guhi. According to a report from Spanish news outlet, Fichajes titled Liverpool launches a bid to sign Marc Guhi. They claim that Liverpool and Crystal Palace will resume negotiations for Marc Guhi, valued at £45 million. Arne Slot reportedly wanted to sign Guhi since last season, and with the sheer amount of games Liverpool must play, if they want to compete for every trophy, signing the England international is a pivotal move. Guhi, for his part, wants to qualify for the England squad for the 2026 FIFA World Cup and wants to play regularly enough to figure in Thomas Tuchel's thinking. Having won the Premier League last season, Liverpool are likely to be keen to make a stronger push in Europe after being eliminated from the Champions League by eventual winners PSG. Guhi's presence would enable Slot to rest Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate as he sees fit to keep them fresh for the end-of-season run-in. Fly high again, Benjamin Sesko reveals why he joined Unbelievable. Man UTD, a £74 million striker, sets targets after Old Trafford arrival. Benjamin Sesko says he wants Manchester United to fly high again, while revealing his reasons for joining the club. Sesko signs for Man UTD, wants club to fly high again, reveals why he joined them, recommended external content video. We need your consent to show you content our editorial team embedded from video. You can toggle this and all other embeds from video across goal.com on with one click only and deactivate as well. Always display video content. I confirm that I would like to see external content. Personal identifiable data could be transferred to third parties. What happened? Sesko swapped RB Leipzig for United for a fee worth up to £74 million, $100 million, on Saturday, with the 22-year-old signing a contract until 2030. Ahead of potentially making his club debut, the Slovenia international says United's unbelievable history was a big factor in him signing for Ruben Amorim's team, who finished 15th in the Premier League last term, among other reasons. What Sesko said: when asked about his ambitions at his new team, he told the club's website, "Just that we get better, that we connect together in general, and we as a team just try to grow together step by step because we're getting better. We're just even more complete and complete. It's just a matter of time when we can fly high again." On his reasons for joining United, he added, "I think first of all, because of the club, it's just a historical club that is unbelievable. For me, the team is great. It is getting better and better, and that's why also there is just stuff that makes you come there, gives you this energy that you want to be part of. I think it's a great project in general, and I can't wait to start, definitely, the bigger picture." While Sesko is thrilled to have joined the Premier League giants, the young forward will be under pressure to hit the ground running at Old Trafford. The Red Devils have struggled for goals in recent years, with strikers Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee providing just 7 between them last season. There isn't much time for an easing-in period, so the 6'5" attacker needs to start well, else the critics will mount fast. What next? Sesko's new side begin their Premier League season on Sunday at home to rivals Arsenal before traveling to Fulham a week later. They then round off the month with a home clash against newly promoted Burnley on August 30th,